Hi, my name is Tess, artist of the century, squishmallow connoisseur, and extreme nap taker, and I'm here to do a day in the life video for a neurodivergent person, aka me. Some things to clarify before we begin though. Obviously, my experience is not universal since there are a lot of things that fall under the neurodivergent umbrella that I don't experience. And this is also not an exact daily routine, obviously, so if anything sounds weird or vague, it's because I refuse to track my habits exactly for a day. Like a zoologist. Another thing is if the structure of the video feels chaotic, good. It's supposed to. This is just what my train of thought typically looks like. It only feels this all over the place because as I'm writing the script, I'm just putting down whatever my brain narrator says. So I guess just prepare yourself for a few tangents. Alright, now with all of that out of the way, I present to you a day in the life of a YouTube celebrity. I mean, a neurodivergent person. Yeah. That. Okay, I know I said I was going to do the day in the life now, but I have to define neurodivergent because a lot of people don't really know what it is or what it's supposed to mean. Neurodivergent is a term used to describe individuals who are not neurotypical. Okay, what's neurotypical? Neurotypical is a term used to describe individuals who are not neurodivergent. Okay, this isn't going anywhere. Basically, neurodivergent is a word that describes people with various neurological disorders and disabilities that affect social, emotional, and cognitive development or are considered learning disabilities. So things like autism, ADHD, dyslexia, dyscalculia, Tourette's, OCD all fall under the umbrella term neurodivergent. And, as previously stated, a neurotypical person is someone that does not have any of these disabilities. I have definitely heard people say, in all seriousness, oh, we're just a little insert neurodivergent disability here, which is absolutely annoying and also a complete lie. Because while neurodivergence does come in a spectrum, which most people envision as this, when in actuality it's more like this, you're either autistic or you're not. Like, could you imagine a neurodivergent person saying something like, oh, sorry, I got distracted, I'm a little normal. Like, that just sounds obnoxious. Okay, see? First tangent about weirdly common ableist phrases already over. Aren't I such a great host? Alright, for real this time. A day in the life of a neurodivergent person. My day starts like anyone else's by waking up. If it's a school day, I wake up at 6 a.m., which is way too early for my biological clock to resonate with. If it's a weekend or a break, I tend to sleep in anywhere from 10 a.m. till noon because for some reason I need the amount of sleep of a newborn infant. When I get dressed, I tend to wear the same clothes every day because routine that doesn't actually matter in the long run is important, dang it! My everyday look tends to be a baggy graphic tee tucked into a pair of high-waisted jeans, funky socks at a cut of crew or higher, either high-top sneakers or combat boots, and my highly accessorized jean jacket that makes me look like a pop culture hoarder. Of course, the getting dressed routine is only effective if I'm going somewhere. If it's not a school day, I stay in the same pajamas I wore to bed all day, because why would I put in the effort to having to get used to wearing new clothes when the warmth of my pajama is already right here? Exactly. My weekend routine typically consists of me hopping from hyperfixation to hyperfixation all day, so we'll skip the detail in that. Except for the explanation of what a hyperfixation is. Oh, pranked! You just got pranked! Oh my god, you should have seen the look on your... A hyperfixation is an activity, topic, or otherwise interesting thing that a neurodivergent person finds interesting enough to obsess over and rot their brain with. They can last from a few days to a few months to even a few years. If the hyperfixation starts to fall into that lasts for years category though, it evolves into a special interest. For example, in late September through all of November of 2021, I had developed a hyperfixation on a dark fantasy manga called Berserk. It's pretty heavy and gory, so I would not recommend it for the faint of heart. Anyway, this manga was all I could think about for a good 2 or so months. Did it cause me to falter a bit academically? Maybe, but we don't have to talk about that! Or like my current hyperfixation Encanto. I've woken up with every single song from that movie stuck in my head for 2 months now, and I can't even be mad at it because they're bangers. Anyway, hyperfixations can be applicable to a lot of different neurodivergent individuals, but most often apply to people with autism and ADHD. Special interests are usually exclusive to autistics, and very rarely, but very possibly, apply to people with ADHD as well. See? Tangent number 2, and I haven't even gotten through my explanation of the morning. So for my routine on a school day, I get dressed, grab the things I need for school, and the ironic part of this morning ritual is that I always forget something important for the day. It usually isn't even the same thing most of the time. It's always just something. Like, as of the time I'm writing the script, I left my drawing pad at home, which I would have used to work on animating the first paragraph of the script with. After I get all my things from their homes in my room, I go downstairs and finish the last parts of my routine, consisting of taking my meds for my cool guy syndrome, eating my breakfast, grabbing a mask that matches my outfit for obvious COVID reasons, and waiting for my mom to finish what she's doing so we can go to school. Since my mom works at the school I attend, I hang out in her classroom until it's time for me to go to my first period class, band. I go to the band room a little bit before the bell rings so I can have time to socialize with my friends for a while before class starts. For the rest of my day, it tends to be pretty uneventful because I just do what I'm supposed to for each class. So for first period, we play our warm-ups, and recently we've been beginning preparations for large group performance evaluation. In stat reasoning for my second period, we're working on our big research project, and every so often we have notes on the concepts we have to be aware of while working on the project. The content isn't hard, and my teacher is awesome, but the students in the class definitely get a little overstimulating. It certainly doesn't help that math is my worst subject, but if I had the opportunity, I would definitely trade my current classmates out for quieter kids and a shiny penny. Wait, what's that thing that just appeared on the screen? Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. This, my good friend, is a tone indicator. They're used in casual conversation on the internet to indicate the tone of a text, post, email, comment, tweet, what have you. Since neurodivergent people, most typical of autistics, struggle with understanding tone in conversations, a lot of people have devised a system that helps neurodivergent folks with understanding tone where it tends to get misunderstood the most often: the internet. There's no vocal inflection in a comment to assist neurodivergent people in decoding if you're upset or happy or angry or whatever, so tone indicators are put at the end of posts to indicate the tone of the post to avoid any confusion. Here's a list of a few tone indicators that are commonly used for casual interactions on the internet. Alright, continuing my day. Third period is my most rigorous class, AP Lit. It's not really that hard since I love classic literature and analyzing poetry and prose, but I'm definitely less of a fan when it comes to class discussions, because if there's any stereotype that high achievers fall into, it's that we're weirdly judgy when it comes to Socratic seminar type beats. I'm also not great at memorizing quotes for tests because of that silly little ADHD. But such is life. Fourth period is where I can start to unwind a little bit because my teaching class is a very fun, very relaxed classroom environment that I stay very engaged with, especially with how the vibe of the classroom matches my brain flow, which is to say, all over the place. Fifth period, though, is the most relaxed because even though it is technically arts 2 and 3 in my schedule, I'm allowed to hang out and make art in the back room since I already took AP drawing last year and got a 3 on my portfolio. If I were to choose to, I can grab my mom's car keys and take her car home during 6th period, which is what I usually do because my econ class is online and I have 7th period privilege. Sometimes, though, I stay to work on art projects if I was getting really in the zone during 5th period. After school, I tend to take a nap because school is mentally exhausting, which usually ends up taking a physical toll on me too. So I accidentally sleep until dinner, eat, and then work on homework if I don't get distracted by friends or more interesting activities. Honestly, homework is the hardest part of the day for me because by that time in the day, my meds have completely worn off and I have little to no motivation to work on things, especially if they're tedious or unengaging, which tends to be the case when it comes to homework. Sometimes, though, if I have a looming deadline, I will get so stressed out by it that I either speed through the assignment just to get it done and out of the way, or I end up completely paralyzed and forget about it completely. The struggle continues when I remember how easy it is for me to just not do something, because a typical behavior of someone with ADHD is to chase the dopamine. So why would I want to do the boring reading assignment about opportunity cost when I can read something that actually interests me instead? All in all, school's definitely a struggle, as is everything else in my life, but in the end, none of it's really going away, so I just have to find ways to cope. If I get in the zone of cleaning my room, let it happen, because that's where the dopamine's taking me, and I haven't cleaned my room in 5 months. If there's a suspicious lack of noise in my room when I'm supposed to be doing something, chances are I have every intention to do it, but my body literally, physically will not let me. That's called executive dysfunction. So just give me some time. And if you have someone in your life that's neurodivergent, ask them what kind of support they need in order to make their life a little less hectic, because I promise they will thank you. Okay, so honestly, I don't really have much of an outro planned for this, especially with it being much longer of a video than I expected. So I just hope that this was able to fulfill one of its objectives of either being entertaining or educational or a little bit of both. So if you like the video, make sure to like the video so I know you like the video, and maybe even subscribe and hit that notification bell. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye!